Welcome back, everyone. So today I'm going to be answering questions asked by you, the viewers and subscribers to my channel, about the upcoming case, the combined case of Chad and Lori Daybell. So let's jump into it, and thank you for joining me today. So on this list, these are questions that were most asked by viewers about the combining of the two cases. What will it look like and what will take place within the case? A lot of it is unknown. It's going to be a media circus. There's going to be a lot of, pulls and twists and, surprise things that are going to come out in this case that we know of right now. So let's jump into the first question. The first question is, will each defendant have an attorney? Well, I hope that this little diagram here, as you can see, this is the state of Idaho. They're going to have 4 attorneys. Well, 2 of them are specialties who will be in and out of court, but there will be 2, a main chair and a second chair for the state when it comes to the actual prosecution of the case. On the defense, this is Lori in red, in blue is Chad Daybell. Each of them will have their own attorneys, Mr. Means, and Chad may stick with the same attorney, but he is on the fence if he's going to hire another attorney, because there's rumors about his attorney has not tried a lot of capital cases or cases like this. But he could. Let's just say that they stick with the same. They have secondary chairs who will sit on the other side of them or somewhere in between. Maybe they'll go one attorney Lori, one attorney Chad, whichever they decide. But they want to put them together because they want to show joint unity, that they're in this together. They're fighting for what is their rights as a defendant. So yes, to answer the question, each of them will have their own attorney, and they will have specialty attorneys who will sit second chair, who are in forensics or whatever it may be. Next questions: what about cross-examination? So let's assume that Chad and Lori take the stand. They take the stand. The first attorney for the state can ask questions to Chad. The second attorney can ask questions to Chad. If they have any follow-ups from anybody else, they could, or it could be any one of the people who are sitting for the state. When it comes to the defense side, same thing. Now, the likelihood is not very good that either Chad or Lori will take the stand in their defense. They may. It would be a long shot, and it would be a strategy that would be kind of like a Hail Mary pass. Throwing it out there that, either one of them have anything that could be evidence that they could convince the jury, because they want a jury trial, not a bench trial in this. They want a jury trial. They want to be found guilty by their peers. Okay? It'd be a Hail Mary for either one of them to take the defense. But let's just say that this is a witness. Let's say it's Melania Gibbs. Same thing. Each side can, attorneys can ask questions about it. So each side, when it comes to the defense, Melania Gibbs is on the stand. She can be cross-examined by 2 attorneys from the state. Same thing with the defense. 2 different attorneys can ask her the same questions. All it's doing is taking basically 2 trials and condensing it down to one location and one series of events. And that's it. That's all it is. It's just a regular trial, but it's condensed. So the next question: can the defendants call witnesses the other one doesn't want or feel they need to call to the stand? The answer to that is absolutely yes. Lori can call people as a witness, and her attorneys, will do everything they can to paint Lori in the most positive light. And the same thing with Chad. He can call witnesses or whatever that Lori doesn't need. Maybe Chad's got someone in his back pocket, or his attorney thinks they have in their back pocket, where they're going to say, you know what? Chad was here at this day, so he couldn't have been at the house burying those children. I know the evidence is going to be very hard for him to, be able to strike down, because there's text messages which, we can prove are, he sent to his wife, who was alive at the time before he killed her, Tammy Daybell. So it's going to be very hard for good old Chad to get away from those text messages. But Lori may be able to say, I had no idea. I had no idea that they were going to do this. I know in all the things that I had visioned, and Chad saw through the porthole. I knew that it was going to happen, but I didn't know it was going to happen because everybody else who has ever gotten in my way, I had killed. They're all gone. So maybe Lori's going to use that defense. We don't know. Next question is, will the case be live on air and on the internet? The answer to that is absolutely yes. There is no way that Court TV and East Idaho News are going to pass up a nanosecond of this. And they're going to, when this thing gets to court, they're going to explode. You're going to see a drowning of this on the internet and on TV. And yes, East Idaho News and Court TV both plan right now to be live telecasting the entire event. There are certain portions of it that will be closed off, like the attorneys may all gather with the judge behind closed doors. If they have questions about a witness or anything that may have been said or will be said. There are things that are going to happen behind closed doors that we're not going to see, but they're going to be televising the entire thing. Trust me on that one. They're not going to miss this gem. Okay, next question. Will there be more than one judge? Since there's two defendants, will there be more than one judge? Absolutely not. There will be one judge on this who will oversee all the procedures to make sure everything legally is done and the defendant's rights are, protected in this entire case. One judge, entire case. All right, next question. Moving through them pretty quickly here. What if one decides to turn state's evidence against the other? Say Lori rolls over on Chad, or Chad rolls over on Lori and says, I'm going to, help the defense here, the state here. Well, they will then take that person. Let's just say, in this case, it's Chad, because, the smartest thing for Chad to do is not be there. Not be there at all. Get the hell away from her. She is the devil herself. And if he can remove himself from any kind of connection here, and that's why his attorneys are fighting. They're fighting really hard. They wanted nothing to do with this combined case. Get himself away from there. They will put another table over here. They can put another table next to it. Or they can keep him here, but they're going to want to separate him, like maybe put him down here at the end and put in a couple of attorneys in between, him and her, if he decides to do that. The odds of her turning on him, I would probably put it maybe about 25%, because remember, she's going to want to save her skin, the skin on her butt, because she always has. She's rolled over at anybody and every time. Everything that's ever happened to her has always been about her. She don't care about nobody else in this case. She didn't care about her kids. She didn't care about her ex-husbands. No one ever. What Lori wants, when Lori wants it, and how Lori wants it. Remember, her actual statements when she was going through the bail proceedings. Let's just see if all of this is worth $1 million. Because she wanted bailed out, and she brought that up. She's a narcissist. She only thinks about herself. Next question. Is there any agreement that, or statement law, that make it so anything that one defendant says to the other, Lori and Chad, cannot be used against them because of confidentiality because of marriage? That's a very good question. And when it comes down to it, statements that were made between Lori and Chad, yes, there are certain protections in place. Statements that were, maybe Chad confessed to Lori that he was the ultimate person who, got rid of the children and then buried them. And he confessed to her. He would have to prove that that happened prior to them marrying, and that those statements were made prior to her marrying him. Which then, if he does that, would prove the state's theory that they both acted together to hide and conceal evidence. So they're not going to want to do that. They're not going to want to say, well, I made this statement to him, or she made the statement to me, and this is when it happened. If it happened, they would have to have happened before marriage, which would then automatically prove the state's case that you two, were in cahoots together and did all this. So that would prove the state's case, and basically would hang themselves. Could they say, well, she confessed to me that, or he confessed to me after we married, and so therefore it's confidential. You have to be able to prove that it happened after marriage and not before. So there are certain circumstances where even the statements that they made during marriage can still be admissible in court, and both of them, well, we already know that they're guilty. So this is all just a show. It's going to boost the ratings for Court TV, East Idaho News, who I'd never heard of before this case. And I'm sure you haven't either. So that's basically, in a nutshell, how this case is going to play out from here on out. Sure, there will be discovery motions. And a couple of people have asked me about bail. Can one defendant bail out since it's now a combined case? Each individual person has their own bail amount and their own circumstances behind it. And they both have pretty much the same requirements if they were to bail out. No one is putting up anything of value, over $1 million of value of equity in it, to bail either one of these two out. Now, there have been people who've come forward and said that they're willing to put up the part of the money. They don't have the whole $1 million, but they're willing to put up part of it, of the bail money. But no, they're staying right where they belong, in jail. If you have an additional question about this proceedings itself, go ahead, put a comment down below. Let me know what your question is, and I will try to answer it either in the comment section itself or in an additional follow-up video. But don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, smash that like button. You have the option of either being notified of all videos that I put up, or just some of it. That's the word custom. You can click on the bell. It'll bring out a drop menu, and you click on custom. Just let yourself know. You know what? I only want to know about every 4 videos you put out instead of every video. So, and again, thank you again for joining me. I hope I answered your questions today. You stay safe out there.